in general, the data we have in Excel or in almost anything, there are only three main data types. This is quite universal for the world of human. The first one is numbers. For example, I could be a post. What can we do with numbers? We can plus, minus, divide, and multiply. Give me some example of numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, -10, -20, okay, 5.5, 3.14, wow, this is pi. So these are positive number, negative number with decimal. Okay, 0. Is 0 a positive or negative? 0 is neither positive nor negative. So it's something unique. So this is number. We can use plus, minus, divide, multiply. The next one, the data type, it could be the text. Text, later we'll learn some transformation. Give me some example of text. For example, I want to get Alpha, Bravo, Charlie. Example, our couplet number. Phone number is a text because we cannot plus, minus, divide, multiply. So it's a text. And the next one is date or time. For example, today's date, 14 May 2024. Maybe we want to specific time 23 p.m. and so on. So this is date and time. Date and time is a very interesting data because not many people has a chance to work with this. If you have a chance to work with this, you are very, very fortunate. If a person knows how to handle date and time well, the rest of it's very easy. So most people, they handle data like number, text. Date is very interesting. We will go through some scenario as well. So you can see all our exercises is structured in such a way. We have a number, text, and date time. So let's go back here. Look, that's the reason we have a number, text, and date time. So let's go to very beginning, text transform. Let's go to text transform. And it has a multiple parts. It has a part 1, part 2. I want to combine them together. And the quantity later, I want to split them into 2 parts. And you can see there's a number and text together. So before we continue, you notice the text is a bit weird. What's wrong with the text? Yeah, mixed uppercase, lowercase one. So in Excel, we can use something called upper, lower, proper to handle this one. So now we want to learn how we are able to use in Power Query. So this is a data within the same file. So we need to do this step first. I recommend this step. Yeah? So make sure the data we are working on, we want to do a random check, like using ROCK. Is there any merging? No. Any blanks? No. Vertical? Okay. Okay, if I say some extra spaces, we can clean up using Power Query. So now we want to go to Insert. Then on the left button, the third from the left, you will see something called Table. If you use your mouse to point on it, it has something appears with the shortcut key inside bracket. So because we are going to use this one regularly, I will recommend you start practice with the keyboard shortcut. So now I move away from my mouse and can press Ctrl T. When you press Ctrl T, this appears. And you will notice the data automatically select the whole range. Do you notice the OK button has slight difference with the outline? It's a blue color, right? It's a bit different outside. So this is called default button. Default button in Windows, we can just press Enter key. And this is universal for Windows. Whatever program, almost all programs in Windows, when you see this button with the outline, you can press Enter. So now, how can we, let's go back here, press Enter. After you create the table, immediately change the name. Immediately change the name. On the top, currently what is the table name? We start all the table name with the wording table. So table, text, data. No space, uppercase, lowercase is okay. And number 0 to 9 is okay after first character. Then you can press enter. So this is only one-time job. In future, I can reuse this one over and over again. So we have a data. I want to do something like this one. I want to combine text part 1, part 2 to a single text. And I want to convert this one to uppercase, lowercase, proper case, and I want to get the total number of characters. And I want to split the pieces to another column called unit of measure and replaces those with the noun NIL to 0. So these are the things we need to do. Well, this one has converted into a table. So I just select one of the cell within the table. Don't need to select all, just one of the cell. Then we go to data. Go to data on the left side, you will see there's a button called from table range. When you click, it will bring us to a whole new world called Power Query Editor. So inside here on the top left, you will see Power Query Editor. Let's run through what are the things inside. Inside the home, these are the common things people do. So these are the common things. For example, they want to remove certain rows, split the columns. These are the common things. And in the transform, what are the additional transformation? So inside the term here is called transform. Some people call data massaging. It's something similar. And in a certain situation, we want to add a column, we can choose add column. Later, we will learn something like this one. And go to the view. Just I want to change some visual here. For example, on the top section here, this is a formula bar. And some computer, they don't have a formula bar. You can turn on, turn off. See what are the changes are that. And on inside the view on the left side, there's something called query settings. So let me zoom out. Click on the query settings, you will notice something appears or something disappears on the right side. So that is the step we are going to do. Actually, we just need to go to view, query settings to bring it back. Okay, so this is how we are able to do. So this on the top one we have in here. At the bottom only has 3 sections. The one on the left side, it shows what are the data we have imported here. If multiple, you show multiple here. And in the middle, it will show what's the data we have selected, it will show inside here. And the one on the right side, it shows the step we have performed on the data we have in the middle. Inside Power Query, a lot of things can be done using mouse. And we can use mouse with the right click. Let's do this. Now, I don't want to have a part number 2, text part number 2. Select this one, right click on the header. And there's an option called remove. Let's click on remove. The thing disappear, right? Okay, good. Now we want to shift the quantity column towards the front. Just go to the quantity header, drag and move towards the front. And let go. You can see the column shifted, right? Good. So inside here, the undo, it doesn't work in the normal way we are expecting. Whatever we have performed on the data, it is somehow recorded. This is recorded on the right side. That's how we have 2. You can see there are 2 more steps added. Let's click one step above called remove columns. Do you notice the column shifted? The quantity at the second column? Then click one step above it. Do you see there are 3 columns? So that means whenever the new data we have imported, it will go through all the steps here. So we are able to somehow record our action here. So therefore, we are able to use this one to repeat the manual step over and over again. So our task is to make sure the steps are correct. So now I realize the last 2 steps is no longer necessary. I can use my mouse to hover across. I go to the last step, and you will see there's X. Just click on the X, and it's gone. Then move it up. There's a last tab, and click for the remove columns, remove the 3rd steps. Okay, it's gone. In normal Excel, if we undo wrongly, we can redo. But over here, if I remove the step wrongly, what can we do? Do it again, no? Nothing to redo. I need to perform the step again. So this is how the things work. Some people, they have fear because of, yeah, cannot find undo or panic. So this is common one. So let's come back here. Over here, I want to combine this part 1 and part 2 together. To select 2 columns, there are a few ways. So let's experiment this one. If I want to select the first column until the last one and whatever in between them, I click on the first one and hold down Shift key and click on the last one. So this is to select multiple columns. Okay. So now click outside, click one of them. So if I click this one, let's click on part number 1. So just now I select everything, I hold down Shift key, right? To click. So I select all. You can see the color changes. So this is to select column. So let's click one of the cell outside. So now if let's say I want to select alternate columns, not continuous. Example, I want to select the part number 1 and the quantity. Whatever in between them, I just ignore. So I click on the part number 1, hold down Control key, do not let go, and click on the quantity. Is the part number 2 selected? No. So this is how we are able to select. And later on, we are going to use something similar over and over again. So depending on which one you want to have. Okay, good. Let's come back here. Now we are going to select part number 1 and part number 2. Use whatever way you prefer. Just now we have 2 ways, either using Control, click, or using Shift and click. So now I want to combine them together. It's called merge. Right click on one of the headers, right click. Do you see there's option says merge columns? Yep. Click on merge column. It will ask us what is the separator. I want to have a separator to have a space, just like space. And the new column name is code. This one you can have space. The header name, everything can have space. Once you have done, and ta-da! When we perform the step to merge the 2 columns together, is there any additional step added? Yes. So this is how the things is added. Sometimes we may want to change the step name to make it descriptive enough. Now this just do experiment. Now I want to merge the columns. Instead of calling merge column, I want to change the name. Right click on the step, and you will notice there's something called rename. Very good. I want to merge part 1 and part 2. You can use space, you can use uppercase, lowercase, symbols in the name. Once you have done, you can just press enter. So this is how we're able to make some changes. Since we are on this topic, in certain situation, I want to put more comment why I do so. So right click on the step. You see the last one is something called properties. Click on the properties. Then you have a chance to key in more details. What you are doing this, what's the logic behind, why? Because a lot of time when we do all those steps, right, it's very fast. We can't explain why we do so. And there are no places for us to key in this way. So now we can key in something like this one. I want to merge the columns before more transformation. Press enter here, you can see it goes a next line. So therefore, enter here doesn't work. If you want to click on the OK without mouse, you can press tab key. You can press tab key. Tab key is on the left side of alphabet Q. Press tab key, you can see it goes towards the OK button. So now you can press enter. And over here, do you notice as a small I appears on the step? Now you can use your mouse to point. Is it nice? Yeah, it puts some comment behind. It shows you what are the things you are doing. Sometimes we do so many things we may tend to forget. So when this small thing, it really helps us to recall our memory, why we are doing all these things. And whenever you have something like this one, it's a good habit to practice. So we have this column, and just now we say we have combined them together, and then I want to convert this one to uppercase, lowercase, and proper case. And I want to calculate number of character. So therefore, I need to have 4 more columns. There are many ways to achieve similar result. Now we are going through a very simple method. It is not so elegant, and the more important ones, it just get the job done. So now we need to duplicate the column. Right click on the header code text. Do you see something called duplicate column? Click duplicate column, right click duplicate 4 times, continue. Right click duplicate 4 times because we need to have 4 columns. So I have duplicated 4 columns. So we have 4 columns. Before we continue, I want to rename the column so that I do not confuse myself. The first column, I want to change the name. I can just use the mouse, double click on the header, double click. So this one, I want to make it as uppercase. Second column, I make it as lowercase, enter. Third column, I want to say capitalize each word. In Excel, it's called proper case. And the last one is number of character. Just double click, is called length. And I have performed 4 steps for renaming the column. So sometimes we can do the similar things together. So they will combine in one single step. When it has a lesser step, it means it will be faster. So let's go back here. Now we want to do something called transformation. All the transformation we're going to do is it uses something similar. Let's click on the uppercase, the header. Right click on uppercase, the header. You see the option says transform. Click on uppercase and everything changes to uppercase. The lowercase, capitalize each word, and length, very similar step. Right click and choose. Right click and choose transform. Want to bring this data back to Excel. Just now we supposed to do something about quantity. Now let it be. It's very common when we do the data transformation, we do not do everything at one go. We need to go back and double check and go back in and go front and front. So it's very common. So now I want to simulate that kind of situation. I want to bring the data back to Excel. We can go to the home and go to the leftmost button. It says close and load. Click close and load. It will bring the data back to Excel. Let's wait for a while for it to load. So this is how we are able to get it done. There are a few ways for us to go back to Power Query. So let's run through the options so that you are aware which one is suitable for you and you know what are the options for you. So first, click one of the cells within the result. And on the top, you will see queries. Click on the query and go towards the left side. You will see there's an option called edit. Click edit. It brings to Power Query. Because we are doing and we have no changes done on over here, just close the Power Query. Just close to do. Just close it. Good. So that's first option. Second option, you can go to the right side, use something called queries and close queries connection. Close this one. Sometimes we don't see this one. We don't see. We go back to data. Underneath the data, do you see there's option or the button called queries and connections? Click on queries and connection, and the right side appears. And use your mouse to double click on table text data. Double click and it brings you back to Power Query. Does it work for you? Click. Yes, it goes brings us back to our editor. Good. So we have no changes done over here. Close Power Query Editor. So that was option number 2. Option number 3, we go to data again. And going towards the left side, you will see there's an option called Get Data. Click on Get Data and go the third button from the bottom, Launch Power Query Editor. And click on that. It does brings us back to Power Query Editor. So because I have done no changes over here, I can close this one without anything. Option number 4, Quick Access Toolbar. Go to Get Data, and go and right-click on Launch Power Query Editor, right? And you will see there's option called Add to Quick Access Toolbar. Mine don't have because I've been added. And whenever you click Add to Quick Access Toolbar, you see the buttons appears on the top. Yes. So now, just now I forgotten to do this one. So I want to go back and do some adjustment over here. Use whatever method you prefer. Go back to Power Query Editor. Use whichever method you prefer. The quantity is in the middle. So I want to shift the column towards the end. Normally we would drag, right? Normally. So now you can right click on the quantity. And there's an option says move. Third from the bottom. Should I move towards, click move to end. So you will notice the column shifted towards the end. And then we want to split the pieces to another column. Something similar like Excel, called text to columns. What is the separator between the number and pieces? A space. Very good. Sometimes we are not quite sure. You can click one of the cell. At the bottom, it will show you how the data looks like. And you can just select and just double check. Oh, there's one tiny space. This is how we are able to investigate cell by cell count data. And sometimes you want to investigate the entire row. You can click on the entire row and it will show how it looks like vertically. So this is how we are able to double check. Let's go to split the data for quantity. Go to the quantity header, right click. Do you see the option says split column? Yeah, split column has many options. We want to split by delimiter. Delimiter, it means it has a separator between them. Let's use delimiter. And sometimes Power Query may suggest the delimiter correctly, sometimes it doesn't. So just need to double check. If let's say sometimes it's not whatever we need, we can choose custom. Okay, so now the space is correct. And I want to split, we can split one time from the left, one time from the right, or every time. Our data only has one space, so it doesn't matter. And later we will use this one, go to advanced. Sometimes we want to split not towards columns, we want to split towards rows, means vertically, we can use this one. Just change the options. Now we want to go for column, it's okay. And let's wait for a while, and ta-da! Yes, 2 columns appears. And we want to change the header. Currently one is quantity.1, quantity.2. The first one, I want to change the name to quantity. Double click on the header, quantity. Enter. The second column, I want to change it to unit of measure. Double click, unit of measure. And you can see there's a noun. We want to change the noun to 0. Okay, so let's go to the quantity. Right click. Do you see the option says replace values? Replace values allows us to find something and replace with another one. Let's key now in lowercase. NIL in lowercase and replace with 0. Doesn't work, huh? Yeah. Power Query is case sensitive. Case sensitive means uppercase and lowercase, they are different. Just now we key NIL in lowercase or uppercase? In lowercase, but this one is in uppercase. So they are not the same. Yeah, I make a mistake, which is very common. I want to do some adjustment on the step. So go back to the step. The last one, replace values. And on the right side, do you see something like a gear icon? You can click on the gear icon or you can double click on the text, whichever works for you. I can double click or click on the gear icon, whichever one. So it allows us to edit the particular step. So now everyone change the NIL to uppercase. And now we want to add something extra space at the end. Just purposely add extra space. If I press enter, will this work? Yes or no? Extra space towards computer, they are different data. So I know there's a mistake again. So let's go back and edit. Double click, or you can click on the gear icon, change it. And just remove the extra space after NIL and press enter. So I want to bring this data back to Excel. What should I do? Go to home, close and load. Thank you, the job done. So now we have completed a simple text transformation. So we want to make sure we are able to make this thing repeatable. So I want to share these 3 concepts. It's very important, especially in whatever thing we are doing in the reporting. So the first one I want to share is called repeatable. Whatever thing we want to do, we want to make sure we are able to use similar thing over and over again. Otherwise, whenever there's a rework, that is a wastage. Repeatable. The next one we want to make sure is something called scalable. Scalable means I have 4 records now. In future, I maybe have 4,000. I expect the same thing to work. So scalable. And the last one is maintainable. If in the future there are some changes required, we only need minimal adjustment to make it work again. So that is called maintainable. Repeatable, scalable, and maintainable. It's a key concept we are going to go through over and over again. So repeatable, scalable, and maintainable. So now we want to test it on the repeatable and also scalable. So let's go back. And go back to text transform. Add a new data or new record underneath. So you can use a jumper data. Maybe I say, I love money. Okay. 10 boxes money. So I added a new record underneath. Let's go back to our data. We need to refresh because it doesn't automatically refresh. How to refresh? There are a few ways. First one, we can right click and choose refresh. This is the first method. Second method, we can go to queries. There's something called refresh. Or we can go to data, refresh all. Whichever method works for you. So I click refresh all and I love money. So imagine your work only requires to copy and paste and refresh. So this is about text transformation.